This is Joe Henry, broadcasting on the emergency frequency, or what's left of it. If you can hear my voice, you are still alive, and for that we can offer a small, quiet thanks to whatever gods you still believe in. It is day 10. 10 days since the sky turned that impossible shade of violet, and 10 days since the world we knew decided to pack its bags and leave us behind. I'm sitting here in the studio, the same four walls I've occupied since the first sirens went off, and I'm looking at a city that doesn't look like home anymore. It's a graveyard of steel and glass, illuminated only by the flicker of fires that nobody is coming to put out. But I'm not here to talk about the fires. I'm here because something has changed tonight. If you've been watching the horizon from your darkened windows, you've seen it. The ships, those massive silent slabs of obsidian that have been hanging over our landmarks, they aren't just sitting there anymore. They've started the descent. This is what we're calling the first siege, the ground sweep we all feared would come once they grew tired of watching us from the clouds. Listen to me very carefully. If you have a light on, kill it. I don't care if it's a candle, a flashlight, or the dim glow of a battery-powered lantern. Turn it off now. We've been receiving fragmented reports from the outskirts, from the few ham radio operators still breathing, and the message is consistent. They are tracking thermal signatures and light pollution. They are moving through the residential blocks of the northern suburbs as we speak, and they aren't looking for survivors to talk to. They are clearing the grid. It's a systematic, block-by-block sweep. I want you to imagine a giant treading through a garden, looking for any weed that dares to stand tall. That is us tonight. We are the weeds. So, you get down low. You get under the floorboards, into the crawl spaces, or behind the heaviest furniture you have. Do not look out the curtains. I know the temptation is there. I know you want to see what is making that low, rhythmic humming sound that vibrates in your molars. Don't do it. The moment you see that blue luminescence, it's already seen you. I remember day 3. We all thought the military had a handle on it. There were those broadcasts, remember? The ones with the crisp, authoritative voices telling us to remain calm and that the experimental pulse weapons were being deployed. I sat here and repeated those lies to you because I wanted to believe them too. I wanted to believe that a few jets and some high-frequency waves could knock those things out of the air. But we saw what happened over the bay. We saw the way those planes just stopped. Not exploded, not shot down, just stopped in midair like they'd hit an invisible wall, hanging there for a second before dropping like stones into the water. There was no fire, no glory. Just a sudden, terrifying absence of physics. That was when I realized we weren't in a war. A war implies two sides have a chance. This is more like a renovation. They are clearing out the old furniture to make room for something else. It's been 72 hours since the last official government transmission. The emergency alert system has been playing that same looped recording of a woman's voice, telling us to seek shelter in designated zones. But we all know those zones don't exist anymore. The stadiums were the first places they hit. They want us gathered. They want us in neat, organized piles. That's why I'm telling you to stay scattered. Stay isolated. Your best chance of seeing day 11 is to be the most boring, invisible thing in the world. I'm looking at my monitors here, and the interference is getting worse. The air itself feels thick, like there's a static charge building up in the room. My hair is standing on end, and the coffee in my mug is rippling even though there aren't any trucks driving by. There aren't any trucks left to drive. I think about my neighbor, Mrs. Gable. She was 84, lived in a yellow house across from the station. On day 6, she came out onto her porch with a broom, yelling at the sky, trying to sweep away the ash that was falling from the burned-out husks of the skyscrapers downtown. She looked so small, so remarkably human in her defiance. I haven't seen her since the scouts passed through on day 8. Her house is still there, but the door is wide open, swinging in the wind. That's the hardest part of all this, isn't it? The silence, the way the world just stops. We spent our whole lives surrounded by noise, traffic, music, the hum of the refrigerator, the chatter of people on the street. Now the silence is so heavy it feels like it's trying to crush your ribs. The reports I mentioned earlier, the ones from the ground sweep, they describe the invaders as being translucent, almost like they're made of liquid glass. They don't walk so much as they flow, and they have these sensors, these long, spindly appendages that can detect the carbon dioxide we exhale. If you're in a small room, try to breathe through a cloth. It sounds crazy, I know. It sounds like something out of a bad movie, but if it lowers the temperature of your breath by even a fraction of a degree, it might be the difference between being bypassed and being harvested. We don't know what they're doing with the people they take. Some say they're being used for labor, others say it's much worse. I don't want to speculate on the dark theories tonight. I just want you to stay in the shadows. I'm looking out the reinforced window of the studio now. The streetlights have been dead for a week, but the sky is glowing. It's that sickly neon blue. It's coming from the north. They're moving fast. I can see the beams of light sweeping across the rooftops of the industrial district. They look like searchlights, but they don't behave like light. They bend around corners. They peek into doorways. They're looking for us, friends. They're looking for the heartbeat of this city, and they won't stop until they've silenced every last one. My generator is rattling in the basement. I've only got a few gallons of diesel left, and when that's gone, this voice goes away too. I'll stay as long as I can. I'll keep talking into this dark room so that you know someone is still awake with you. Do you remember what it was like to worry about the trivial things? To worry about your mortgage or your lawn, or whether your car would pass inspection? It feels like a dream now, doesn't it? A dream of a different species. We're down to the base elements of existence now. Fire, water, air, and the will to keep breathing. If you have children with you, hold them close, don't let them cry. Give them whatever you have to keep them quiet. A piece of candy, a toy, a whispered story. Tell them we're playing a game. Tell them the monsters are just part of the game, and that the winner is the one who stays the quietest. It's a cruel game, but it's the only one left to play. I keep thinking about the ocean. I grew up on the coast. I keep wondering if they're under the water too. If the whales and the dolphins are looking up at those violet lights with the same confusion and terror we feel. Or maybe they're smarter than us. Maybe they dove deep and found a place where the blue lights can't reach. I'd like to think there's some corner of this planet that hasn't been touched yet. Some mountain peak, or some deep trench where the old world is still spinning along, unaware that the stars have finally come down to claim their prize. The humming is getting louder now. It's a physical pressure in the room. My ears are starting to bleed. Just a little. A trickle of warmth down my neck. I think the sweep is hitting the downtown core. If you're in the high rises, God help you. Get to the stairwells. Get to the basement. Don't use the elevators. Even if the power is somehow still flickering in your building, you don't want to be trapped in a steel box when they arrive. I'm going to stay on the air as long as the signal holds. I have a few records left that I haven't played, but I'm afraid the sound might carry. I'll just keep talking. We'll talk about the things we miss. I miss the smell of rain on hot asphalt. I miss the sound of a stadium full of people cheering for a game that doesn't matter. I miss the feeling of being safe. That invisible blanket we all wrapped ourselves in, thinking that the world was ours and that it would always be ours. We were wrong. We were just tenants. And the landlord has finally come to evict us. Keep your lights off. Keep your voices down. If you hear someone tapping on your door, do not answer it. They can mimic us now. We've heard the recordings. They can play back the voices of people you know, people you love, calling out for help. It's a trap. It's a lure. If you hear my voice coming from anywhere other than this radio, it isn't me. Stay in the dark. Stay alive. This is Joe Henry, Day 10. Signing off for just a moment to check the perimeter. I'm still here. We're still here. Don't let the silence take you. Just wait for the sun. If the sun still remembers where we are, keep the lights off. please, for the love of everything, keep the lights off.